4, 3, 2, 1, sync.
Fountain.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to TTV 269. I'm Meso.
Oh, 4.
Okay, I'm Takuma.
And I'm Prpl!
What is that sound?
What's
It
up,
was my
guys?
microphone.
I like stuff. I wanted to be on this episode because I saw
like
the
stuff?
cast. Yeah, I like the cast here because I saw it, all of you guys scheduled on the schedule, and I was like, oh man, I wish I could be there. That sounds like a really fun episode.
Aw,
Fluff wasn't here, and now I get to be.
Yeah.
No.
Now the episode is lesser because of it.
Yup. And also, it doesn't help that I have, like, a very intense, deep-seated resentment towards the TTV podcast right now.
Yeah.
Poor
Get it.
track
Okay.
record.
You
It's
poor
boiling
little.
over. Why do you think?
Is it because of your track record? You no longer missed. Oh.
I actually don't care about that at all anymore. The reason why I'm boiling over with rage right now is because I just got off an 8-hour shift, and it's been incredibly busy all day. And I've been staring at Super Mario Odyssey, which I have, and I want to play it, and it's there in front of me, and I can't play it. Now I gotta do a podcast.
Now imagine how Volcatamer feels when you did the podcast late, and he's gonna have to edit that instead of playing.
I don't care about other people's suffering.
Whoa!
Their suffering won't get me Odyssey quicker.
That's true, dude. He's got a point there. Counterpoint. How about don't be a pleb and like Mario games? Like
But it's
child.
the best!
Okay, there is that too.
It's the best, dude.
I have
Super
no
Mario-
interest in it. I want to
You say
be
that.
interested
seriously
in
do
Mario
not care.
Odyssey, but like
You say that about everything.
what? I mean, yeah.
Okay,
Literally
you do say that
everything.
about everything. Literally everything, yeah. But yeah, I don't get it, man. Mario is like the one thing. Nintendo in general is the one thing that just completely skipped me. I do not understand everybody's like obsession and fascination with
Yeah,
Nintendo.
like
I like Pokemon.
I enjoy the heck out of Metroid Prime, but that's it.
Nintendo is the kind of thing, it does require a lot of nostalgia. I feel like most Nintendo fans have that element, because it was something inherent with gaming back when, and they kind of lost their way a little bit in the most recent decade, fallen out of relevance. They're now coming back, and a lot of the joy for Nintendo fans is seeing these old franchises get reinvigorated and brought into the modern era. That's why there's such a craze with Zelda Breath
Yeah,
of the
because
Wild.
Mario is totally being reinvigorated, am I right? It's a completely new breed of game. Nothing.
It is new. He has nipples now.
Super Mario Odyssey.
Completely different than anything they've ever done before. Mario Kart
Wow.
7, completely
about to
different
say
from anything
something,
they ever
but
did before.
Super
After
Mario
what Prpl
Odyssey
just said, I am not
is-
following that up.
Super Mario Odyssey is one of the most, if not the most, innovative, unique, and refreshing Nintendo games ever produced.
Thank you, Game
it
Informer.
It is.
Presented by IGN.
There have only been two other games, even in the same subgenre, ever made: Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine. It's a very
Ironically, maybe that's why I look at this game and I'm like, because Super Mario Sunshine is actually the only other Mario game I've ever actually played.
yeah.
Which, by the way, I hated. It was terrible. I hated that
Fair
game.
enough.
It actually boggles my mind whenever people talk like so passionately about it, because I remember
I don't really
playing
like
it
it
and disliking it tremendously as a kid.
I actually agree. I wasn't that big on Sunshine, to be fair. The thing that separates this Mario game from others is it's about as close to open world as you could possibly get. Most Mario games follow a template of platforming levels, and you complete them. There's like 8 in a world or whatever, 8 worlds in total. This game,
Oh boy.
you get plopped into a big
Okay, so
open
it's just
world
him?
area.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just, yeah, okay. In case because it's not gonna get picked
right.
up by the audience, is that Meso is like lagging out a lot.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, did my internet just cut out? But
Rest in peace.
I had like really like
No such
horrified
luck.
flashbacks of like last week, or not last week, 2 weeks ago when Friday the 13th happened. I was like, oh please, not
Freaking
again.
out, dude. I can't have Discord go down again.
Yeah, seriously.
No, TLDL, it's fresh, it's fun, it's different, but if you're not into
How do you know you
Nintendo,
haven't played
you
it?
won't, I
Yeah,
actually
except
played it for
you
2
just
hours
confirmed that
also.
it's not fresh or different compared to other games that they've done before. And also, is it really fun? Up to opinion, since no one's really played it yet.
I played like 2 hours of it last night.
Okay.
But fair enough, I could list all the differences and all the innovations, But since nobody else here is really big on it, it would fall on deaf ears because you don't have a frame of
It
reference
totally
to
would.
compare it to.
Absolutely.
I wish Ben would be here. He could.
I don't know. It looks stupid to me, but like it's just like I definitely realize mentally that I am basically doing the same thing that all the other like people who saw The Force Awakens did when they're like, "Ooh, everybody likes this thing. I'm gonna like look at it and just not be impressed because it's way too popular to even try to like it."
You can be a hipster?
I get
Yeah,
the logic.
exactly.
If you're not like super invested, it's like, oh, it's just another 3D platformer. It's like, what's the big difference? It totally makes sense.
It does kind of annoy me that
I just don't understand how Mario has not been completely played out.
Play
That's
Odyssey
really
and then
all
you
it
will.
is to me.
It's a bunch of fresh
Because
ideas.
it's like the number of games he's been in, whether it's been anything original or practically just, churned out, it's been going nonstop since forever. Like, I can't imagine any other... Is there any other franchise that has done that?
No. Maybe Sonic.
Sonic, Pokemon. Well, Sonic definitely.
Yeah,
got played
but
out.
Sonic went through a long period of people just being utterly disappointed.
That period is still going. People hate Sonic. So
And even Mario games, most of which do get praise.
Of hope, but
Most Mario games do get praise in the sense that they are well made. There has not been a Mario game that was universally loved by people since, I'd say, Mario Galaxy 2, which was a long time ago. Completely different console generation. It's been on kind of a plateau for a while. So to see Odyssey come out and be in a similar gameplay style to like the legendary Super Mario 64, it's pretty incredible. And it's a modernized take on the formula. A lot of fresh ideas, a lot of innovation, and it's just visually stunning. It's like I didn't know.
oh yeah, Mario running around in that realistic city.
I didn't know Nintendo could make games that look that good. I'll be honest. It's really, really fantastic.
It's just when I hear something like that, it's just like, oh man, dude, these graphics. I mean, they're not great, but it's Nintendo, therefore it has to be great. I mean, have you seen their other stuff? It's awful.
they set the bar low so that, they can easily beat it.
That's what you get when you have a console like the Wii that like it purposefully restricted its ability to do good graphics because of the motion control.
It's like if all the other consoles were like fast food places making all these fancy burgers where they're incorporating new sauces and Colby Jack, and people are like, "Oh man, did you hear? Nintendo just started putting cheese on their burgers. It's the best thing ever."
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hey Var, can you schedule Vin for next week's TTV episode or like the next 2 weeks from now?
No, I'm gonna make sure
We do
two are
need a
separated
November.
from the rest of the month.
What's the matter, Meso?
And
Are we
next-
not caring about your suffering?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I can't relate, dude. It's also like, at the same time, it's like maybe if I were to play the game, right? Like if I were to sit down and actually start playing Mario games, then something might click and I would get it. Except Nintendo's made all their games proprietary and on their own freaking system, so there is no way I could play it.
That!
Mario Odyssey for PC, please.
Yeah, it's like I
Don't
now
even
have
bother.
to drop $300 to play Mario Odyssey just to see if I even like it.
Yeah, that's totally Nintendo
Console
isn't really welcoming for new people.
exclusivity is the dumbest.
I agree with everybody but Nintendo because Nintendo has been a hardware manufacturer for just as long, if not longer, than they have been a game manufacturer.
Sounds
I'm
like
sorry,
you're
could you
expensive
hear
for
that?
time.
Because all I heard out of that was, "I'm a fanboy!"
I admit
like
when
the
they do stuff
purple
wrong.
3DS. It's
I skipped the
cool.
Wii U completely because it was a piece of trash. A fanboy wouldn't do that.
Like,
But I must
got the
recognize
Wii,
that
and it does not seem as much
Nintendo
as I
goes
thought it
hand
would.
in hand with innovative pieces of hardware. That's always been their thing.
It
They
sounds like
always
you had
try
an abusive
weird
husband
gimmicks.
that
They try weird gimmicks and unique ideas, even when they
finally
fall
took a
flat on
shower
their
for
face.
once, and now you're like, oh yeah, okay, maybe I can come back to you before, but before you were
Listen.
trash, so I couldn't take it back. But now,
I'm
I don't know, you were like, you did beat me every weekend, but now you've combed your hair, so maybe I'll take you back.
Gosh.
listen. Nintendo hardware always tries crazy new
This
ideas.
episode is quickly
even,
turning to like the Nintendo
even
roast,
when it's
and
bad for them.
Meso's just trying to throw like Dixie cups of water on the fire.
Well,
Yeah, pretty much. No, it's just it wouldn't be the same if they just made games. It's got to be the hardware, even when it falls flat on its face. It's just
I
their
mean,
thing.
Sega's still doing fine.
No, they're not doing fine. Sega's not doing fine.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd point to Sega as another.
Do you know they made a Sonic
I didn't say they're
Forces?
doing great. I said they're
they
doing
released
fine.
a demo for Sonic Forces, and I'm not sure if you guys have heard about this.
I have not, no.
It was 1 minute long.
What?
You could play a minute of gameplay.
Wow,
on the
now
demo.
there's some nostalgia.
Why did you
can't
even?
believe
Why
that.
even bother?
I don't know. Doesn't
That's
make any
crazy,
sense.
dude. It's been a long.
It was a Japan-only
Companies
demo.
don't even do demos anymore.
Yeah, it's like
It's very rare.
Kazapar points out. Fair enough. It was a Japan-only demo, but it was still a thing.
Oh, okay, all right, dude. Way to like spin this and in a way to really help out your argument here.
What argument?
Messanac, more like BuzzFeed-anac.
Yeah, seriously. You spin
argument.
this whole, like, that Sega's not doing as well because they released a demo that was only 10 seconds long. Oh, yeah, right.
CNN, more like CNNAC.
That wasn't actually part of my argument, but okay. It was just an anecdotal story I brought up. If you want to make my argument, look at sales figures. Here's my argument. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah, no, I agree
Sonic
that
is
Sega isn't
going
doing that
there.
great, but I don't know, man. It's just, Nintendo, it rubs me the wrong way that they're, like, they do all these things that I dislike, like console exclusivity, copyright claims on
Okay,
YouTube
yeah.
and stuff, and all of a sudden, people just kind of give them a pass because they're like, I like Mario. Mario's fun. And I look at Mario and I'm like, it doesn't even look that great.
They are very anti-consumer. They have been for a long time. And it sucks because they know how to play to their fans' sensibilities and what they like. Some would call it pandering, some would call it like listening to feedback, but like you play Odyssey, there's a billion references to like old school Mario stuff in it. They get what people like, but it makes it very difficult to like them when they do things like the anti-copyright, the anti-consumer policies with copyright stuff on YouTube, amiibo practices, basically just like becoming a toy manufacturer, you know? It's like
They know there's enough people drinking the Kool-Aid, they don't worry about the guys out front with the pickets.
basically, and it's because they were in really dire straits a few years ago, and amiibos like turned them around. And they started really focusing on that, which is the wrong way to go, because I don't play Nintendo to buy their toys, to buy their little statues, and that was their window, and they're like, okay, maybe we should look at things differently. And ever since then, it's just been like negative thing after negative thing, and it's quite unfortunate. Good games remind me why I like them, but it's very difficult to sometimes.
This is a tough episode for Nintendo fans to listen to. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
don't-
guys. I
don't
understand
get
that we're
triggered.
railing into it. Don't worry that we do not represent all of TTV. There are plenty of Nintendo
Their-
fans in our
Their
channel.
skepticism is counterbalanced. I have enough like giddy enthusiasm for all three of them, so it's cool. What else has been going on with you guys? Anything cool?
I mean, not really. When we talk
A lot
about
of behind the
games, it's
scenes
been like
stuff we can't really talk about.
pretty obnoxious
Really?
because Destiny 2 and Assassin's Creed
Oh my God.
all came out the same day. Plus Mario is like, okay, well,
Yes,
a lot of
Assassin's Creed is getting stellar feedback.
You guys should just start playing
Surprisingly.
Warframe with me again.
interestingly enough, Assassin's Creed, this recent one seems to be quite a subversion of the typical Assassin's Creed, formula, where it's like, not formula, but like where it typically gets decent reviews, right? But then the community just trashes it. I've seen the exact opposite here, where it's gotten, I mean, it's still getting decent reviews, but it's gotten lower than I think people were expecting reviews, right? But all the communities that I see talking about it seem to enjoy it quite a lot. No performance issues, at least on modern, PC setups.
It seems to be one of the better games released in recent years from them.
Yeah,
I think it definitely benefited from them stopping the yearly release cycle.
for sure.
Meanwhile, Destiny.
Also, it's in Egypt, and that's cool.
Yeah, I like that. I have no interest in Assassin's Creed, but I like that.
Yeah, meanwhile, Destiny, they've been... It's fun. I won't talk about it at length because we've done so multiple times, but the PC version came out and it was excellent, except for that whole kerfluffle with people getting banned.
The problem with Destiny 2 and our podcast is, oh yeah, by the way, that was ridiculous, is that whenever we bring it up, is you and X just kind of go off on a tangent about it, and it's never a conversation. And that's the only problem.
So you guys should get it, dude. We can have a conversation.
Never.
Talk about...
Please don't. Destiny is physically painful to hear. Just the
It wouldn't be if you played it! You'd have fun!
Purple, come play Warframe with us cool kids.
I appreciate the offer, but
We've
I'm
got
waiting for
we've got
Final
space
Fantasy
ninjas
PC.
with parkour superpowers.
Saving myself for Final Fantasy.
I did actually download Warframe. because a lot of the things I've heard, because Destiny 2 has a couple of big problems, which are divisive in the community. I don't personally think it's that bad, but some people are like, okay, why the heck would you play this when you should go play Warframe instead? It's free, it's better, it has more content. And I was like, you know what? Fair enough. So I'm gonna start playing Warframe. At some point.
I mean, I remember we were trying to start up Warframe a while ago. And I downloaded it and played a couple of games with you guys.
Wasn't that like right before Overwatch came out?
Yeah, it was.
And it also had an incredibly high barrier to entry. Like I was not sure how to do anything.
I didn't really like it. I don't know. There was something about it that didn't. I don't know. Click.
To be fair, Warframe can definitely be difficult to get into or get back into if you've been on hiatus, simply because there's so much there now, so much to do, so much going on. You're easily overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But my
I
brother
couldn't make heads or tails.
My brother just started up, and seeing now what the new player experience looks like, things look a little more straightforward, more clear cut. I'm like, hey, here's a direction for you to go, and a progression between learning these different mechanics and systems. So.
Totally.
Maybe it'd be different if you got back into it, but I will definitely acknowledge that Warframe is not for everyone.
I know John's been trying to get us into PUBG and Fortnite for the longest time now.
Yeah. I don't know why. Like I've completely missed the PUBG style of game.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I've heard about it, I've learned about it, and I've watched a little because I've got a coworker who would watch Twitch streams of it while he's on break. And honestly, whether it's the gameplay or the quote-unquote meta behind it, it just looks absolutely boring.
That's my thing. Every time I try to look up a clip of it to see if it looks fun or not, it's always just a dude just standing there.
90% standing around.
Yeah, he picks up a gun and stands in a corner, and I'm like, okay.
I felt the exact same way about like DayZ and stuff. I missed that bandwagon as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing with DayZ that I liked, that interested me, was the fact that if you died, you died, right? That was the thing that I thought was really neat, that a lot of games weren't doing at the time, and that you could populate this world where you can meet up with your friends, but there's also just other people at random all over the place, and they're real people, and you never know if they're going to be malicious or not, and it's like, that felt more real, in a nice, like, I don't know, just really, Immersive, yeah, there you go, immersive way. So I don't know,
interesting.
Yeah, I just thought that was really cool. Also, zombies were all the rage at that point when that was big, and like,
oh man,
the idea of going through a zombie apocalypse with your friends was like sweet.
That got so played out, though.
It did. It got really played out. The problem with DayZ was that the gameplay looked terrible. That was the problem. It was terrible too. It didn't just look.
Did
terrible.
They ever release the DayZ standalone game?
I don't know. I think they did, but like it was always in like perpetual like beta or something, where they were like trying to complete. I don't know.
I hate that.
The problem is you look at the standalone version and you're expecting, okay, so the reason DayZ sucks, like the reason the gameplay is so bad is because it was a mod of another game, and that's why it's so like terrible to control. So you'd think the standalone version would be like really, really fluid and awesome. Then they release it and you look at it and it looks like the same thing. It looks just as bad as it did before.
Totally.
Ugh. But yeah.
It's kind of a problem. Games in general have like become a non-entity with this group. I remember way back in the day, it used to be primarily what we do, especially back when Halo wasn't like hated by everybody.
Dude,
nowadays,
I just
it's
got
basically
Halo 2 for the Xbox.
Enjoy it. Enjoy the goodness of Halo before it got tarnished.
We are approaching the time frame where we should be expecting Halo 6 news.
Yes, next year they're going to announce Halo 6, and I don't want to get excited. Mainly because they just continue to disappoint, but I'm glad they're taking their time with it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's on a PC, I'm not going to get it, so.
I'm sure it will be.
I would hope so.
But, like, we've talked about this before, but we haven't really recently because nobody really cares about Halo. But while it's being discussed, the thing with Halo 5, they didn't really leave the franchise in a way that has any interest to me. I hated the campaign story. Where it's picking up from, I don't see it being a good story, no matter what they do. And the multiplayer also, like they've pretty much outright said we're not going to be making major revisions to the style of gameplay. It's going to be iterative, not like they're not going to do massive shakeups. So if you didn't like Halo 5's multiplayer, you're not going to like Halo 6. Ergo, there's really nothing for me to care about
Nothing to look forward to.
other than a twisted enjoyment in seeing how the trilogy's gonna end, which will probably make me buy it. It's basically just become the occasional Overwatch game and nothing else with this group.
Yeah. I mean, Overwatch is the only game that's... I don't know.
It's not even consistently enjoyable, but it has
It's
appeal.
not.
It keeps me coming back.
It's the design of the characters and the world that it's set up. That's what brings me back to it every time. Like the gameplay is fine and it's fun most of the time, but half the time I'm annoyed as all
Man, I've not been playing enough Overwatch lately. There's no way I'm ever gonna get like the Dragon Symmetra skin or anything.
Yeah, I gave up. Their whole change with the loot boxes to give you fewer duplicates, it worked. 2 thumbs up. I get no duplicates anymore. The flip side, I have no currency anymore.
Yeah.
So
That's why I was skeptical when I heard about the change.
No longer is it a thing where, like, oh, if I play enough, I'll at least get that one skin I want because I can buy it with currency from an event.
This change is great for people who play all the time. But for those of us who only played, in a more, I don't want to say responsible amount, but it's the only word I can think of right now.
On occasion.
We don't have the, we're only going to be playing so much. We want very specific things because we know we can't get everything. But now we can't get those specific things because we don't have the currency to buy it.
I feel like if they just added like 1 guaranteed currency per loot box, it would be way better. And maybe like not have it only be 50. Maybe like 100 per loot box or something.
If there was a way to like straight up just like earn currency.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
Or sell all the stuff you don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with Hearthstone, another Blizzard game, it's kind of the same thing. You open a card pack, you get some random cards. Duplicates can be quote-unquote disenchanted, basically turned into currency. And then you can use that currency to buy the other things. The thing is you can do that even if the item's not a duplicate.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get rid of all the cards you want to get the ones you do. Overwatch, you can't get rid of the cosmetics you don't want. Otherwise, I mean, I've already got 2 cotton-picking Doomfist legendaries. I literally have 0 seconds on Doomfist gameplay.
The only time I have on Doomfist is from Mystery Heroes.
I've never even gotten.
Sometimes you gotta wonder if the game looks at your like playtime. It's just like, yeah, that'll be fun. Let's go on a Doomfist again.
I've got 2 Doomfist legendaries. One of them since the Halloween event started.
That's pretty rich, dude. No, it's like, man. I've said it before, like, the one thing I love about Overwatch, and to be fair, is mainly because I have a high-end gaming PC. I don't know that everybody listening will, but for some reason Overwatch like boots really quickly for me. So like it's always
the PC thing, yeah.
It's the PC thing. Whenever I'm in a gaming mood, it takes me the shortest amount of time
2
to be
seconds
like,
to
I'm going to
start
pop on
playing
Overwatch, and then I'm going to invite my friends through the easy UI, and then we'll matchmake and we'll find the game really quickly unless it's comp. With every other game I'd like to play, it's a process. If I want to play GTA Online, which I always would like to do,
I hate GTA.
you gotta wait for like an hour to get into
What?
a game.
Yeah, GTA is terrible, dude. It is awful to try.
It
and
has
get into
really
a
bad
game.
loading, and it's glitchy. So like,
It's glitchy and screwed up, and the servers are awful. If once you get into a server, you might get kicked out, and you'll have to do it all over again.
Yep. It takes like 5 minutes to load into the multiplayer world, and then someone has to invite you, and then you gotta like do another 5 minutes.
And here's the thing, right? Yeah, you open up the game. It loads you into story mode, first of all.
Yes,
like,
then you have to go to multiplayer.
Then you have to switch over to multiplayer. So, like, I think now they have, like, a little button that you can press to take you straight to multiplayer.
It doesn't always work.
But it doesn't always work. So it's like sometimes you'll wait 5+ minutes for the game to boot up the single player because it's a giant, massive open world game, right? So it takes forever. You wait 5 minutes to get into the single player. Then you go into multiplayer. If you didn't get an invite right away, then it's just going to put you into a random server, not like a multiplayer menu or anything. So you have to wait 5+ minutes to get into that server, and then when you accept the invite, it's going to take you 5+ minutes to get into the server with your friend.
And then each GTA activity, because it operates based off a giant like hub world, and then you launch into your activities from there, then those are additional loading screens for races and like deathmatch and heists or missions. So like the amount of time you spend doing nothing in GTA, by the time we always get on, everyone's sick of it already. Everyone wants to leave.
It's a chore to play. It really is.
Heck.
Even with good gaming PCs.
Yeah, it's so much. It's fun, but man, it's to get to that, it's just awful. And this is assuming that like you're able to get all of your party into one game and finally get there, and then like we want to do something, so we all have to try. Like we'll all spawn at random points of the map, so we all have to travel to one part, and like let's hope that someone doesn't die on the way, because then they're gonna have to respawn or something, and it's a nightmare.
My favorite thing that ever happened was, it was very recently, we were trying to do a heist. It was the last time we tried to play it. It took us half an hour to get everyone on the heist menu screen, get in the game, and then someone dropped, and it disbanded the party, and like put us back to random points. And we had to
especially
do
with
it
the
again.
heist, because you have to do the heist all over again. So, like, I mean, sometimes those things, especially if you're playing, like, the hardest setting or whatever, could take forever. Forever to do. Like, if we die, we have to do the whole thing over and over again. So, like, let's assume that we finally have a perfect round, or our perfect run after doing it, like, poorly 10 times now. We spent, like, 4 hours on this one heist, and we finally are about to complete it, and because of GTA's stupid servers, someone drops,
and then
we
it takes
lose
forever.
all progress.
Yep.
It is awful.
That's why I like Destiny, there's checkpoints.
Can we take a quick second just to appreciate how absolutely terrible Microsoft is at naming their consoles?
Okay. Yeah. The Xbox One X. That's where
Xbox
you get
One
that.
S.
So it's like, okay, so you've got the Xbox. Cool. Ignoring the fact that it was literally not supposed to be the name of the console to begin with. It only got through because they didn't think of something else in time.
You serious?
Yeah, it was called that because it was the DirectX box, so it was just like a working title to refer to it during development. But then they never actually like got the real title figured out before launch. So
That's
then
incredible.
Xbox 360. Okay, that's cool. Then they call it the Xbox One, which is absolutely stupid because the first Xbox should be referred to as like the Xbox One or something like
But
that.
Takuma is all in one.
And now they've got the Xbox One X, which as an acronym is Xbox.
Oh yeah,
Who comes up with these?
Oh my god, it is!
It'll be so easy to search up Xbox One X versus all the other Xboxes. Here's another dumb thing, right? They have two versions of the Xbox One right now. Or two new versions. I think they're still selling the old one, right?
They might have discontinued it.
Might have discontinued? Okay, I'm not sure. I haven't played consoles in forever, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But, like, there's the Xbox One X, which is, like, the super awesome edition, where it's got, like, the better hardware inside of it. And it's the one that can play your games at a faster frame rate with better graphics or whatever. I don't know. Sometimes, yeah. And then you have the Xbox One S, which is the lower tier one, which is cheaper, but it doesn't have all the hardware there, so it's like you can't play your games at the full resolution or whatever that you could on the Xbox One X. Here's the problem, though. Let's imagine a scenario where you're a kid and you're asking your grandma, "Hey, Grandma, I want the Xbox One S." And then your grandma's like, "All right, the Xbox One S. Okay, cool." And she goes over to GameStop, and, like, you wanted the Xbox One
First
X.
mistake.
And she goes to GameStop to get the Xbox One S. Why would you name your two different products so similarly? S and X? Are you serious?
It's literally what everybody made fun of Nintendo for doing with the Wii U, but worse. Because it's like if they called the Switch, like the Wii S, after already having a Wii U. It's like, having a letter name is bad enough.
It's
but
even
then
worse.
making
It's like
another
if they called the Switch the Wii W, while also concurrently selling the Wii U. It's like, how are you supposed to know which one is which?
Wii Woo. Wii Woo.
Why is Sony the only one that seems to have this figured out?
Yeah, I mean, like, the PS4 Pro isn't going to win any awards, but it gets the point across, you know? Like, you get what that is.
I was more so referring to the numerical system. Sure, it's not the most inspired thing ever, just to, up the number,
Yeah, but
it's
it just makes
the
sense.
PlayStation
It
N
makes
plus
logical
one.
sense.
It makes it so much easier to figure out what the heck you're looking for.
It's a fiasco.
It's
But
like,
you want to know what's really dumb?
when
Oh, sorry,
even
go ahead.
your console names are anti-consumer.
Speaking of anti-consumer, Microsoft may have bad names, but they have even worse ideas, because they just announced the other day they have officially ceased production and manufacturing for the Kinect. It's all over.
It's
And
dead.
if you're-
Kinect
if you're
is actually
remember-
kind of cool.
Dude,
It's a
if
cool
I was,
idea.
it's cool,
The
but if I was
Kinect
one of the
couldn't
people,
recognize black people at first.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yes.
That happened.
Yeah, it wasn't great. If I was one of the people that had bought that original Xbox before they started selling it without the Kinect, I would be so mad right now. You got gypped out of at least $100.
They forced you to pay an extra $100 for a peripheral they never
for
supported.
a paperweight.
It had the barest minimum support. They stopped making games that supported it a long time ago. It was basically only useful for waving around your dashboard, and now they've just ceased manufacturing.
They stopped making stuff for it with the year it was released. You never had a chance where that was ever useful ever.
Yeah.
Remember that scene in Back to the Future where it was supposed to be this year, where it was like, "What? You have to play this video game with your hands? That's dumb."
Yeah.
That didn't come true.
For any games that do support it, it will still be supported. But when I say they've ceased manufacturing, it means they've basically given it up as a bad habit. You know what I mean? Support will end one day. Like the next Xbox, whenever they make it, isn't going to have anything to do with Kinect, because that era is over.
Yeah, the only developers that would make a game for it are developers who don't care about the future.
Exactly. It was a very innovative camera that had no place in the gaming ecosystem. It was a good attempt at technology, but it was forced down everyone's throats, and as predicted, it fell flat on its face.
Yeah, dude, games are frustrating, man.
That's why I gotta give props to Nintendo, tying it all back. The Switch works. It fulfills its promise, and it's useful, and it has good functionality.
I will say that the Switch is probably the best console they've done in a very long time.
As long as we're totally trashing the games industry, should we talk about Shadow of War and Battlefront 2?
I did want to
now.
God, dude,
loot boxes.
It's so sad because freaking Battlefront 2 is actually I played the beta and I actually had a lot of fun. It was the gameplay is pretty nice, and the changes that they made to it, where all the abilities and unlocks are tiers that you can work up towards during the game, instead of it just being random in the first one, was way better. It's just a shame that now it's pay to win. That it's ridiculous.
They released a statement saying basically we hear the feedback and we're working towards making sure that everything attainable in the loot boxes can easily be gotten by people who don't buy them. But the way they worded it, it was completely non-committal. It was completely vague.
Well, it's because
and it basically was nothing of any significance.
It's because EA has a garrote around DICE's neck.
Yes,
they have a
saying make us money.
A garrote.
Do you not know what a garrote is?
No, I don't.
Am I mispronouncing it?
I don't think so.
No, I probably just don't know what it is. A garrote.
You know, in the spy movies or whatever, where they have that special cord they wrap around their arms and they use it to choke somebody?
No.
He's saying they have a chokehold.
Maybe it's pronounced Garrett.
I have never.
Who's Garrett?
Oh, it's like a little string thing. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, it's like a cord specifically made to put around someone's neck and strangle them.
Oh
okay,
gosh,
yeah. I've seen this before. I never realized it was an actual thing. I kind of just assumed it was string.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Did I just blow your mind again, Var?
No, you didn't blow my mind.
Okay.
You've introduced a new
Do you feel
concept
enlightened?
to me. I do feel enlightened. Yes.
Okay. At least I'll accomplish that today.
While we're talking about EA, there was an interesting thing.
Glad you could join us for this episode, Prpl.
Yeah. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Do you have stuff to add?
So informative.
Not really. I think
the point is that she doesn't have anything to add.
Fantasy.
No, I know. Do you have any additional non-gaming topics?
She was so happy to be in this episode.
Do you have any non-gaming things?
I mean, we can get to her in a second. Finish what you're gonna say.
Yeah,
real quick. It was this thing about EA that came out. It was basically an ex-BioWare developer who got laid off of BioWare Montreal. He's moved on to other things. He came out and did a thing about Mass Effect multiplayer, and basically saying how Mass Effect 3 multiplayer had these loot boxes. It was one of the first, if not the first game to have them, and it was
Team Fortress 2.
One of the first. It was a pioneer. And the console market, mainly. It did so well that's why recent years EA has started putting them into every game, and he basically insinuated it's the design philosophy in EA that if a game can't be monetized with loot boxes, it's not really worth making, and that is being proven to be true because they recently closed down Visceral who was making the Star Wars single-player game, and just today a big thing broke on Kotaku, basically going in depth about how that game was going to be. It was going to be single-player, it was cancelled, and in its place they're developing a multiplayer open-world Star Wars game under a new developer for the purpose of monetization, basically. As far as EA is concerned, single-player is officially a dead concept. It's all over. And the thing that he said, the developer, about Mass Effect 3, there was apparently a person who paid $15,000 for MB3 loot boxes. That was a thing that happened.
It's probably Keeney.
$5 is like free to me. That was a thing he said way back when. No, it's like
we were all playing Mass Effect. Yeah, Keeney. I don't know. Our audience isn't really familiar with him, but he used to be a host.
Yeah,
we still talk with him nowadays, and we were playing Mass Effect with him, and he would literally just keep buying freaking the loot boxes in Mass Effect.
$5 is like free.
He said we criticized him, and he was like, $5 is basically free, and then he bought another one.
No, listen, loot boxes are controversial.
I imagine he's like one of these people on Candy Crush on his phone who's like, oh, I can get more lives for just a little bit, and then they get the bill, and it's like, what? I have to sell my house?
Loot boxes do have a place when they're used in moderation, like how Overwatch does them. I think is a very good
even
way to do
Overwatch,
them. Entirely cosmetic, entirely
It doesn't even need to be
optional.
cosmetic. It can be pay to win, so long as you're not playing against other players.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Even-
there's arguments to be made against that, but I will, yeah, it's an egregious problem when it's any kind of PvP.
It can
and
very
custom gameplay.
easily run rampant. Halo 5 tried, and they fell flat on their face because they made it a single game mode that dealt with things. It was the Warzone game mode. But the problem with that was they also had armor be in the packs, so it was a big fiasco. They tried to have the best
way
of
they
both
handled
worlds, it
armor
didn't
was
work.
terrible.
It was garbage. Loot boxes work when they're being used as a tool to fund free content. So, for instance, like we never have to pay for any of the Overwatch stuff because of loot boxes. And that's cool because that's actual new things that are being developed consistently throughout the game's lifespan to add variety and fresh content.
And it's also not
bad.
stuff that like changes the gameplay or anything either. Like you're not getting like super
Yeah,
powerful
completely
weapons in
cosmetic.
Overwatch loot
Yes.
boxes.
It's
The
very
most you
different
could
when you have a
argue is,
game like
some of the skins might make you easier to hide on certain maps.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's
not with a
that's
big red
grasping at
outline.
straws.
It's very different in a game like Halo 5 where they had loot boxes and they also had free DLC, but every single piece of their DLC was cut content from other Halo games that they basically repurposed as if it was something new. Like, oh, we're adding zombies! We're adding Griffball! It's like, you mean like every
other Halo
game
game
has
ever.
had
I don't
at
understand
launch.
why it's so hard for Halo to just add the game types again. Halo Reach was perfect. It was a perfect game. That game had so much stuff that you could do out of the box. I don't know what it is with 343 and their like inability to understand that, but like the second they took over Halo Reach, they took out all the fun game types like Headhunter and everything, and they started doing this like stupid rotation thing, and then they did that for Halo 5 too. Why are you doing that? Just let us play the game types.
It's a way to nickel and dime, and it's the fear that Battlefront 2 is going to go down the similar route, like using loot boxes in a way to basically gate content while also... Because it sounds great when you say a free DLC, but it's a perspective thing. Is it truly DLC?
There's
Or
no
is
such
it-
thing as a free lunch.
Or is it game content that they're basically holding off on to then
Oh, that-
pace
yeah.
their game? And that happens all the time, except with
Oh, yeah.
Overwatch. Overwatch didn't do that. I don't know. It's a messed up thing. Prpl, how's the weather?
Oh man, the weather actually sucks. It's been getting like colder and colder, and I
There is-
cannot stand the cold at all.
There's slush falling out of the sky here right now.
Are you
Perfectly.
serious? Oh gosh, it hasn't
Well,
started
okay,
snowing
like
or
it's
anything
a
yet.
rain
here.
snow mix that is turning it. That is like instantly slush as soon as it hits the ground. Part of the reason I worked from home today. Because
Purple, we need
I
to
don't know
finish
what
Life is
it is,
Strange.
but
We do. We need to
That out
finish-
of nowhere.
What chapter were we on? We like
We made it to chapter 3, I think.
okay. I like
You really screwed up episode 2. I remember that.
Yeah, I
happening.
know. Oh yeah, and episode 3 was like weirdly like short for you because you were used to the whole like hospital thing, but that never happened.
Yeah, because you completely screwed up. Oh wait, no, I think we're actually on episode 4, which means we only have 2 episodes left.
Oh my gosh.
So we're almost done.
my
Sorry to bring that back to gaming, but I just like that was the two kind of clicked
No, it's fine.
together.
How about
Yeah.
how about this? Purple, what would be your ideal game?
Final Fantasy 15, but with more dragons.
Why do you like Final Fantasy?
Because it has
I
edgy
don't
emo
know, it's-
boys. That's all.
It's the anime
That's not
boy.
why. It's
the
fun.
edgy anime
it's like
emo boys.
I like open world, and like the combat is like really enjoyable. It's not just like push B to attack. It's like you can do all these different maneuvers and techniques, and you can unlock
So
more
you like-
techniques
So
by
it's
playing
like a
So you
Spectre.
like
fighter.
so you
Is that
like
what?
open world games.
Is it a
with
spectacle fighter then?
Sure,
I would say
it's
so.
sparkly.
It's very flashy.
Spectacle has no spectacle fighters being like God of War, Bayonetta, just
I
about
don't think
anything
she knows
developed
what
by
those are.
Platinum.
I know what Bayonetta is
Legend
only
of
because of
Korra,
memes.
technically.
What? I have not played any of those.
It's being able to do like crazy maneuvers and stuff.
It's basically
Yeah.
like combat with a lot of like combos.
Devil May
and stuff.
Cry and
Because I feel like when you say that about the game, and you're like, the only game I like is Final Fantasy. It's like there are a billion games in that.
I hear
genre.
Final Fantasy, I still think of turn-based combat.
Like if you expand your reaches, you'll probably find tons of games just like Final Fantasy that you love or
Probably,
tangentially similar.
but
Like I bet you'd like Dark Souls. You guys just do it.
no, I don't think you'd like Dark Souls.
Nah.
Once you
I
learn
like
the ropes,
games
it's
I
very
can
rewarding.
actually win.
You can do Dark Souls. Dark Souls.
No, dude,
Its
I would not
difficulty
recommend
is
Dark
vastly
Souls to you.
overstated.
What?
So have you
you
actually
learn the
played
mechanics.
Final Fantasy 15?
I have not.
Okay, well that explains it. No, I would not recommend Dark Souls to you.
How does that explain anything?
Because
I know what it is.
Final
I'm not
Fantasy
saying
has a
they're
very
comparable.
very specific kind of fighting stuff. Like it literally like you hold a button down and the game dodges for you. You really don't have
Yeah.
to think a lot.
I love that.
So it's really the
Dude.
inverse of what you said, Purple.
Yeah.
It's not complex combat systems, it's simplistic
No,
combat
it's-
systems.
She likes that offense is complex, but defense is simple.
She likes being
Yeah.
able to do a lot of different things while fighting, different maneuvers and different
Yeah.
attacks and stuff, but not.
I also like not dying constantly or not being able to like attack because I keep like getting hit or dying or whatever. Like there's
Complexity without
there are these
difficulty.
It's flashy and fun, and the character
hate
on the
those
screen
things.
is doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah, the
I
thing
hate
that you're
those
recommending
things
is the
too,
complete
Purple.
opposite of what she's into.
Listen, all I was saying is with her description of what she likes about it, a big open world with complex gameplay, my point was that there's a billion games that fall into those broad general terms. I understand that it's not exactly the same genre.
No, she likes
Purple.
button mashers.
Purple, did you ever play any like the?
No.
Yeah, did you ever play any like Zelda games?
no.
Like,
I watched my
okay,
dad play Twilight Princess once, and it looked fun, but I never actually played it.
Because I mean, I've got to say this because I'm a hardcore fan. Darksiders, super fun.
Is it very
Cute.
flashy?
It has a bit of a spectacle fighter kind of feel to the combat. Different combos, different weapons, different powers.
It's also quite edgy.
I think you would definitely
Like I said once before, Darksiders is Zelda for the people who liked 06 Bionicle.
Nice.
Nice. You would definitely like Devil May Cry. I'd recommend Devil May Cry. I would also recommend Metal Gear Rising. And
Vengeance.
what's it called? Vanquish. I think you would love Vanquish. Yes.
I heard of it.
I've played Vanquish, can vouch. Just, you'd like it. It's very
is
fast,
Vanquish?
very frantic, very like...
It is. You would love Vanquish. You'll probably remember it to come out once I post a picture.
Oh, another thing, I don't like sci-fi games.
Never mind.
Like I like Final
mean-
Fantasy because it's like it has like modern elements, but it's like fantasy. Ironically, I don't like fantasy either
heard of
because it's
Vanquish,
not
but I don't know anything about
relatable.
I mean,
enough,
it's
but-
like sci-fi in the sense that there's like mecha, I guess, but it's really not sci-fi at all.
No, it's very like...
It's very
Vanquish
Japanese. It's not really science fiction, but it's yeah, I don't know. It's crazy fun. Like I will. There's a donkey video out there. I think that describes Vanquish very well. I think you would be into it.
You can slide around super fast and then go into like slow-mo and do crazy like jumps. Everything's very high octane.
Yeah. I see. The thing with like, I think Devil May Cry is right up your alley. Although that one's got a little bit more of a demonic
Edge.
vibe. Yeah, there's a bit. It might be too edgy.
yeah,
for you.
I
I
wouldn't
don't
even
know.
say edge. Yeah, it's
I don't know. I don't.
Is
I don't
it like
really know
tastefully edgy or is it like freaking middle school scene phase edgy?
A little bit of both.
DMC is definitely a middle school
Blood
edgy,
and
but
Satan edgy.
yeah, the earlier Devil May Cries are okay. They're a little bit more.
I should have been the
Typical
one
edge.
to fill your dark soul with light.
What?
That's a quote.
Oh my god.
Obviously, Kingdom Hearts I'd recommend to you.
Yeah, that was fun.
I would recommend the other Kingdom Hearts that aren't the first one, where the combat system is very much kind of rudimentary and very early in its stages. What if we ever get to Kingdom Hearts 2, I think you will be blown away. with
Play
how much
Chain of
changed.
Memories, the Game Boy game. It's the best ever.
Oh, dude, I used to play Drawn to Life. Holy crap! Except I couldn't get past the second boss, so I stopped. It was so
That's a
hard.
bummer,
It was this stupid tree, and you had to defeat it, but it kept killing me.
The stupid tree. There was a stupid tree in Dark Souls 3 that kept killing me. Can relate.
Wow.
Oh hey, completely random. They just cast a dude for Shazam in DC's failing cinematic universe. Zachary Levi is Shazam.
Zachary Levi.
I don't know.
That's
He
a
looks
name
familiar.
I recognize. Let's see.
Apparently
was
he's a Marvel
Fandral.
alum, according to what Prentice posted.
I don't know if you'd call him an alum. He was Fandral in Thor, who was one of the Warriors 3, the dude with the rapier, I think.
Okay. I can see him.
but-
Yeah, I can see it. Looking at pictures, I think he's well casted.
Who the heck is Shazam? And why are they making a movie out of it?
You don't know who Shazam is?
You don't know Rick Shazam?
That's the one that's actually a kid, right?
Yeah, he's a kid. Whenever he calls out or whenever he screams Shazam, a big lightning bolt hits him in the face, and he turns into this godly. He's essentially Tahu from G3.
I'm very curious how they're
Except,
gonna adapt him to
when
fit in this
Tahu's not
cinematic
in
universe.
beast mode, he's only a little teenager.
How the heck are they gonna
Is he
make
even
this
teenager?
him work
I don't know.
with this universe?
I don't know. He used to be called Captain Marvel for the longest time, and I think you can understand why he's called Shazam now.
Yep.
Can understand.
Yep.
By the time this episode comes out, Thor will be out.
I'm looking
Will
forward
it
to that
really?
so
Is it coming out
hard.
that soon?
Yeah, it's on the
second.
second.
November
Holy
2nd.
crap!
Yep, it is.
So stoked.
Oh my
Currently.
gosh!
You're this shocked.
It's literally a week.
Yep.
Whoa! That really snuck up on me. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I've already seen people who've seen it in other countries. They're saying it's really good and stuff. So
It's got
I believe-
95% on the on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
I'm sad it slipped that low. It's gonna go back up. It was for a time, and it might still be the highest rated Marvel movie ever on Rotten Tomatoes.
I think it
To
is.
the point where they actually used it in a Twitter post. Marvel did see the highest rated Marvel movie ever. And people are I really hope that doesn't come back to bite them if it drops below. Because
No, it is. It is
still a lot of
currently
reviews
still
to
the
go.
highest rated Marvel movie at 95% certified fresh. I did not realize that Iron Man 1 had dropped down from 98% because
Totally.
it was 98% for years.
Yep, it's gonna be interesting, even if it isn't as good as that. It's gonna be good no matter what. It's looking like it's the definitive best Thor movie, which makes me
It's
very
about
happy.
time Thor got a good movie.
No,
They have not been treating that character well in his.
he's the only thing who's ever been just straight up mediocre about Marvel. All the Thor movies are just kind of they're fine.
I mean, I'd say they were a little better than mediocre.
Certainly,
But yeah,
I like
definitely
I'm
not.
just talking about fan
Definitely
reception.
not. Definitely the weaker ones.
They were pretty
Thor 1
bland.
is one of my great favorite movies from the first phase. But
Yeah, I
most
will
people
say
didn't
that
like it.
I like Thor 1 a lot after rewatching it. I did not like it that much when I originally saw it, but years later, now that Marvel Cinematic Universe is developed and I like Thor as a character, going back and watching Thor 1, I really like that movie a lot more.
And then we have the Dark World.
Dark World is
It's the most average movie.
it's weird. The Dark World's weird.
It
Yeah.
got a few chuckles and some spectacle, but it was to the point where it was so...
I wonder
It
if
feels
was-
out of
average.
place.
if it was the same movie but marketed as being a Loki movie instead of a Thor movie. Would that change how you felt about it?
If Loki had more screen
Probably.
time, yes. Loki
No,
was
if
the
it was
best
the
part of that
exact
movie.
same movie, but it was being sold off as
No.
more of a Loki story than a Thor story.
Definitely not. Because
I mean,
he
it's
wouldn't have
it's still a mediocre movie either way. but I don't
No,
even
I mean,
know
like,
what I'm trying to go for at this point.
I think
If it was
the tone of that
marketed as a
movie was just
Loki
weird.
movie, I would be more annoyed because then it'd be like false advertising if it was the same movie. Because Loki didn't have enough screen time to be a Loki movie. It's like Halo 5, you know? It's like the screen time was all different for the characters. And the advertising lied. But I do think that giving Loki a larger focus would be interesting because his shifting allegiances and complex character is one of the best things about the Thor subset of stories. And I'm really curious how they're going to... Because Thor 2 obviously ended on that cliffhanger where Loki was masquerading as Odin in Asgard. And it's been so many years since that happened, most people might have even forgotten that was a thing.
Yeah, I have to remind
Yeah,
myself of
I
that
totally
all the time.
forgot that.
I'm very curious how they're going to address that in the movie. Because Loki's in the movie, like, alongside Thor. And, like, he thought he was dead.
Yep.
So, meh. Alright,
Well,
that's basically that. Anything else going on, guys? Anything else we want to talk about?
there's a lot. Man, there's a lot of stuff that's been going on that we can't talk about.
Like what?
Yeah.
Oh wait.
You've been working on a lot of crazy stuff, Var.
Yeah, I like to experiment. I like to tinkle.
You like to what?
Yeah, I like to tinker is what I meant to say. But I do like to tinkle as well.
I was just like, I'm bored. I'm gonna go drink a whole lot of water so I can tinkle.
Yeah,
Var,
I like
you're
to tinker
always trying
and I
new
like to
things.
tinkle.
I'm going to compose a song this time.
Yeah, the song and then the other. Yeah, I think X did a really funny quote that I can't even. We can talk about it tomorrow on Brainstorm, but yeah,
I know it's very apt to your state in life and how it's always been.
it really is. It pretty much describes me in general. I don't know. I like to do things. It gets.
You're the kind of person
it
who I think we would, like, hook up your brain one day, like, when you die, was keep you alive, and, like, as a supercomputer, constantly running, like, different things going around, you know, constantly just, like, extending the web outwards.
I think, John is kind of, like, onto something when it's, like, I'm good at starting things, but I kind of need someone else to take over after I start it, because then I get bored with it.
I've noticed.
Are you already at that point with the new thing?
I have trouble with execution as well.
No, not currently, no. All the stuff I'm currently doing, I'm still pretty hyped about. It's just a matter of, like, I don't have enough time in the world, you know? Like, there's not enough time every day. Days need to be 36 hours long. And we need to move to Mars or something.
I was about to say, imagine if you could, like, double the length of a day, 48 hours.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, dude. That'd be so good. The problem is, it's like it's
Then
not even
you
like
die as half
yeah, that's the
life.
problem. It's not like the length of time; it's the amount of time I have in the world. So I don't know.
Well,
You got anything to share, Prpl? You the one irritated at games. You got, like, anything interesting at all?
I don't know. I mean, when
going
you
on?
were saying, "Oh, let's hook Var's brain up to a supercomputer or something," I misheard what you were saying, and I thought you were gonna say, "Oh, if we like looked into Var's brain, it would just be like chaos or something." And I don't know. The first
That's
thing I
an
thought of
equally
was
viable statement.
this is the gif I thought of for some reason. Like,
Nice. It's
How-
picturing.
How will this be represented in the video? I wonder.
I'll post a screenshot.
can you not just like insert a gif and just have it repeat?
I
a few
don't
times?
think you can. I don't know how to do it.
Copy
At
paste,
least.
have it repeat.
Whatever.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's definitely been a very very interesting thing for sure. TTV is fun. It's an enabler for all my habits. It gives me a reason to do things that I otherwise would not have, I guess, time to do.
It also gives you an avenue to just rant and vent about some particular topic that's bothering you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Like
Except
the gaming industry.
Whenever I try to, like, talk about stuff that's on my mind, nobody cares.
No one
one
does
likes
Talk
Like
about
you.
please.
Mario.
Get a girlfriend
Everybody hates
that'll
Mario.
But that would require him. That would require him to go outside.
Exactly.
true,
And
dude.
then I can't play my Mario. Oh wait, I can because Switch is portable. Nintendo for life.
Hey, you found your girlfriend. Congratulations.
Just move to
Her name
Japan
is
where you
Switch.
can marry computer games.
No thanks.
Gosh.
When are you moving to North Carolina? When is that happening?
Depends on money. Probably fall or beginning of year.
Mess
Like
up.
next year?
Hopefully not.
It's already fall now.
Yeah, it's currently fall.
Exactly. Totally. Also, yes, what? It's like, if I could have last words, it would be Nintendo for life, and then on my tombstone, how's death and such? We've, like, spoken about this many times. It's like, that is my character. I wish more people liked Nintendo. Here.
I totally
I liked
expected you to say I
things.
wish more people liked me.
No. I don't need anyone to like me. I have Mario. Wow, Prpl.
I like it when people like me or at least tolerate my existence.
Oh man.
I tolerate
Hey,
you.
Prpl, remember how much we loved you when you made art for us? All you have to do is go
Yeah.
back to those times. Make us
Dude.
art
Let's
and
play
we'll
back
love you
into our good
again.
graces.
I miss
Our
old
love is
Prpl.
conditional.
Man, I was
new
going
Prpl
through
is the
like
worst
old
Prpl.
TTV art, and man, I drew a lot.
Yeah,
Why you
you
know
did.
draw squad more?
You did.
I don't know, because it's
Why don't you do
boring.
paintings
because
anymore?
we've
I don't
lost
know, I'm-
our...
Purple. I'm sick
lost
of
our
the
appeal.
cartoons. I need paintings.
Dude, I'm
sick of all
I
the
have a
comic
very
stuff.
mixed relationship with painting, because it's like, it's really fun, but they suck.
You do.
What do you mean they suck?
Okay,
do
not
too
the
much
mask
comic
paintings, because, like, they're not actual humans, they're just masks, but, like, my people paintings suck.
You gotta
They
you
get
gotta
good.
develop a different style. You can't just translate your comic book style into painting style. You gotta do like a why are you calling me, you stupid piece of crap? I'm in the middle of a record. I'm gonna answer.
Oh my gosh, who is it?
Who is it?
It's
Whoever you are, stop calling me! Alright.
Who was that?
I don't know, someone from Washington. Wait, actually, it was Washington, Delaware? Is that a thing? Is it a place? I think it's a Delaware.
Yeah. I don't remember if there's a Washington in Delaware or not. I should.
someone's calling me from Delaware. I don't know who it is, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
I like
Wilmington.
how he got out
Delaware.
a single rhyme before he had to resort to scatting.
Wilmington. That's all his rhymes. He does that, and everybody is impressed.
It's the greatest trick.
In his head, he's like, that wasn't impressive at all. I'm gonna keep on doing it and make them think that I'm impressive.
Meso's rhymes really suck. They ain't even worth a buck.
Hey.
You should get up
I'm
and
like-
go outside
I'm like a rhyming magician.
and find a
pulling
girlfriend
them
in which to
along.
confide.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know.
I kind of wish I had played with that caller a little bit more, just to figure out.
You
what
should
they were
have.
doing. Yeah,
You should have been. Like,
I'm kind of
did you-
regretting my decision now.
did
My
you
dream
wait
is to
around?
someday record myself just totally, taking a scammer for a ride. Like those computer scammers try to tell me about the viruses.
You've mentioned that a few times, and it would be very entertaining.
It's been a while since one is called. I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
Need
Yeah,
more
well.
You gotta go
scammers.
seek them out. A lot of people put themselves on like a do not call list. You should do like a do.
I did
call
that. There was there was one thing.
Please call.
One.
Please call.
Please
I
call
am
this.
idiot.
There was a time where I was getting like a call like consistently every single hour. At like the end of the hour, it would be like at like the 45-minute mark, I would get a call from like the same area code. It was a different number every time though, so it was really weird. It was like, I don't know, it's like if I had died in a tragedy or something and people were calling me to try and figure out if I was okay. That's what it was like. It was really weird, but like every hour someone would call me from a different number in the same area code. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I haven't answered any of these people. I'm just going to put my number on a do not call list. And lo and behold, it worked. I did stop getting calls. I don't know what it was, though.
Well then,
It was really
That's pretty
weird. It was like all day for like 2 days. Every hour. Even like in the middle of the night, I would get a call.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was freaky, dude.
Wow.
Wadden has posted a picture of Wall Guy calling me.
I will find you, boy. Wall guy lives in Delaware, confirmed.
Oh, man.
Alright. I think it's about time we
Yeah.
begin wrapping up.
This was,
Because we've got people over and they're eating dinner without me.
Oh, you should have mentioned it.
he
I
did,
did.
actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
You
hey,
should read the chat.
I'm dedicated to this podcast, man.
Should have mentioned louder XD.
I can't bring much to the table, but what few crumb scraps I can, I will share.
All them crumb scraps.
I love my crumb scraps.
Alright.
I love my crumb scraps almost as much as I love to tinkle.
What?
What if Var could tinkle crumb scraps?
Let's not talk anymore.
Sometimes I use crumb scraps to tinkle.
What does that even mean?
Sometimes I tinkle on my scraps, which happen to be crummy.
Okay, now I'm getting disturbed.
I don't like this.
My
Thank you
crummy
everyone for
tinkle
listening
scraps.
to this episode of the TTV Podcast.
I'm not naming the episode.
Crummy tinkle scraps. Come on, you got to.
I refuse.
Name
TTV
it not
Podcast
that.
episode 260 something. Crummy tinkle scraps.
It's 269.
269. Go crummy tinkle scraps. I like to tinkle.
So thank
And
y'all
get into
very much
scraps.
for listening to this week's
I like to
episode
wink
of the
when I tink.
TTV Podcast. We'll see y'all next week. As always, I'd like to give a special shout out to one of our awesome patrons at Patreon.
There's a stinkle when I tinkle.
TTV channel. This patron's name is Jutta. Jutta. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly.
I hope you're not.
But thank you either way for continuing to support our content. And
Oh,
we
Prpl.
will see you all next week. I'm Meso.
What?
I'm Var.
I'm Takuma Nuva.
And I'm Prpl. What bar was
And
wrong?
farewell,
I don't know if I should
everybody.
mention it or not.
Don't mention it. Don't mention it.
All right.
Don't do it.
All right.
See ya, guys. Bye.
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 Toodles.